Ladies and gentlemen, Street Fighter fans all over the world, welcome to another episode of Street Fighter League. For the 6th episode, we are continuing off with what we call the second day for the rest of the teams to duke it out. Yesterday, we saw 4 of the teams play against each other and in such a scramble to get themselves to the top of the leaderboard as possible, as much as they could, because again, we've been talking about some of these playoff contention spots and how important it is with these weeks for some of these players to kick it into high gear. My name is Vicious, here with St. Cola, back at it again to talk about some of the teams that are going to be playing this week, as well as what to expect for the playoffs. Before we get into it, St. Cola, how are you feeling, man?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, it's my birthday, so I had to tell people that, you know, I'd asked the Street Fighter gods to give me good action, and we're getting it right here. The very first match, or I should say the team going up against each other, is Good 8 Squad versus Ferozi, and y'all saw the schedule 2 that came up. That means we're gonna have even more good action throughout the weeks, as y'all just saw previously. But man, oh man, we have the top spot coming through. But before we get into anything, we gotta talk about what's been going on with the playoffs and the grand finals information when we hit you with that. So just to give you a little bit of just like what they're working towards is the playoffs are based on the rankings when it ends. So the top 2 and 3 are going on the home side. 4 and 5th place are going to be on the away side. Obviously, first is situated, waiting in the grand finals. So you definitely want to be in those top spots.
So how it works is when it comes to the playoff spots that they're going for, it's all based on the current seeding and where their ranking is at. Based off of that determination, we're going to see who is placed in the home and away positions, right? Again, it's as important as ever because whoever ends up winning in that spot between 2nd and 5th place, they have to face off against the team that made it into first, right? They have to pretty much play in the grand finals and play a whole separate set going into that. And of course, the winner winning 8 million yen for their team, split up, by the way, just to tell you how that's actually split up. The champions get 5 million yen, 2nd place with 2 million, and 3rd place with 1 million. You guys can do the conversion rate. I already know what it is in my head. Just to give you a little rough number for those of you stateside, it is about $44,000 USD. That is a huge chunk of change going in the first place. Just to give you a little picture as to what's on the line. But yeah, so the playoff spots, a lot of it in contention right now. You want to obviously be in the top. You got to see like Good 8 Squad pretty much leading the pack. V6 Plus, FAV, Roto Z. These guys are pretty much fighting for their automatic spot into the grand finals. It's all about 2nd through 5th place. We're trying to see the rest of those teams and see who's going to be properly seeded into the playoff spot, which is absolutely important. And as we talk about some of the teams that have scored pretty well for themselves, we get to talk about yesterday's matches, right? We had Team Seoul go up against Shinobiism Gaming. We also had Nagoya Oja Bodystar go up against Mildom Beasts.
That's right, and I was really hoping for you know, Seoul to kind of come through in the clutch. They did not. As you see, it was a clean sweep. It was a wash. You know, Team Shinobi just too strong out here. Koguchi and them, you know, Momochi, and man, oh man, Fujimura just putting in too much work as the anchor spot. So 4 points on the board. Team Seoul got to do something, dog. I'm not sure if it's too late for them to come back. Obviously, they can still get that 4th place spot, you know, 5th place spot, work towards that. And then if we move on to the next matches, Oja Bodystar and Mildom Beast tied it out to a draw. You know, Daigo's team hot off his win. CPT wasn't enough to completely clear out the other team, but that just shows you the level of Street Fighter action that we got out here, the level of players in all the teams, and how it's so difficult to tell who's going to take this entire tournament.
And there was a lot of emotions riding high in the Nagoya matchup versus Beast, right? Akira actually had a very, very dominant win against Daigo towards that set, despite it being 2-1, right? Akira actually felt so relieved. There was so much high emotion. He actually almost cried, actually, after the matchup. And then quite the opposite when it came to MOV in his match. He went down to the wire with Fudo and was so close to taking it down. We highly encourage you guys to check it out because he started off the final set, the final game of that set, with a perfect against Fudo, and it slipped between his fingers. He actually was looking like he was about to like cry over it, which is like, it's totally understandable. There was a lot of high emotions in that matchup, and you saw in the rankings where everybody was currently at and how important it is right now. There's such a big a ton of teams that are pretty much tied up right now in terms of the rankings, so it's going to be ever so important to see who's going to be between 2nd and 5th place.
Everything matters. Rounds, matches, sets, all of it matters, even more so as we get to the finale. But We're not there just yet. We're still trying to figure out who's in those top spots, as we said before. Right now, we're giving y'all actually the highest amount of action you can get right here. We've got Good 8 Squad going with Fade Roto-Z as the first match of the day. That is some ridiculous action. The two teams in contention. And I think a lot of people would have said, Fade Roto-Z was going to take this free when they looked at the players that were on the list. But there's been a lot of competition back and forth. Good 8 Squad putting in a lot of work. You got Capcom Cup champions, Evo champions on that, and a lot of surprises. And them sitting in top 8 or the top spot versus Fade Roto-Z coming up on the deck here is going to be so sick.
Yeah, so Sakanoko leading the pack. The strongest halberd with that Minot. We've seen how he performed this past weekend. Ryusei, the Eyes of Desperation. Man, that is the sickest title. He was actually on the bench the last time. He's just been eager to play. Tokido, the genius pro gamer. We always like the murder face moniker as well, playing that Yuri. And of course, Father Almighty, the executioner of justice, Bonchan with that Sagai.
Father Almighty. Bless me for I've sinned by playing Sagat. On the other side of things, we're going to have possibly, we might be seeing a rematch. So, Tokido on one side. I'm wondering if they're going to set up Kichipamu. Let's take a look at Good 8 Squad. First of all, the Hiroshima Predator, Gachikun. It's a Capcom Cup champion right there, leading the squad. Also, the next generation, Koano, who has definitely proved himself with the Evo win online this year. Then you got Pugera, the unshakable boxer, which is back and forth of V-Skill 1 and V-Skill 2, putting a lot of work on that character. So how cheap he is. And then last but not least, the massive pad grappler, Kichipamu, looking like an absolute delinquent. Dog, you need to clean that tongue. I'll tell you one thing though, Kichipamu, as a little bit of trivia, put in the work against Tokido, defeated him twice, double jeopardy during the Japanese CPT that was this weekend.
Yeah, Kichipamu was the reason why Tokido was around 32, like top 32. He didn't make it into the top 16 because of that very fact alone. And that's not the first time we've seen Kichipamu take down Tokido, actually. The first time we actually saw their encounter was over at Red Bull Kumite in Japan not too long ago. I mean, a few years ago. We'll say not too long ago because everything considered. But not too long ago, it was actually a really considerable victory when you think about who Tokido was playing. And when you're looking at the current roster, this is great. Ryusei, eager to play, he gets his wish. He's going to be the front man with that Yuri, and Bonchan with Karin Kanzuki. Huge difference, a huge shakeup as to what we saw in comparison to CPT. And of course, Tokido is going to be rounding it up as the anchor. This is great. You have the security bodyguard detail with Karen and the two Yurians. I like that. I like that a lot.
I do like that. But on the side of Good 8 Squad, I wonder if we're going to set up Kichipamu to put in more work against Tokido. But at the same time, man like Tokido, they said the genius pro gamer probably is putting a lot of work in the lab. I saw him in a few days, but he definitely was in the lab, angry about that loss, upset about that. But at the same time, maybe you still have some of that fear left in. Kichipamu could prey on that. Let's see if they put him up as the anchor. As the home team, they get to strategize and commiserate a little bit and deliberate on what they want to send up. That's the advantage right there. See what they're going to send up. Gachikun saying that he's just as planned. He's very calm-mannered, and then he looks very relieved at the lineup. He looks very relieved. My man looks relieved.
I'd imagine they'd want to put Kichipamu in one of the Yurian spots. I would imagine. Not against Tokido, though. I don't even know who the reserve is going to be from what it looks like. I don't think Kawano would be the reserve because he's hot off of CPT. But based off the facial expressions, okay, so Kichipamu is indeed on the bench. When they were speaking, Kichipamu had this look on his face like, man, I really wanted to play. But it seems like Kawano will be the front man going up against Ryusei's Yurian. So we're going to see that matchup. Ryusei, another one of those players that didn't make it into the CPT this past weekend, just shy of top 16. As a matter of fact, he participated, didn't make it all the way through, but pretty much everybody in this lineup in the entirety of Street Fighter League, they participated in the Capcom Cup qualifier. So I mean, it's just it was so intense for a lot of these players this weekend. But Kawano, he already has the option select of saying his room lights are not working today. So if he happens to miss any confirms, it's because the room was not lit effectively.
Can't see his buttons. boy, you better fix that real quick, get a lamp, because this man's eyes are always open. Ryusei can see everything. I bet he's nocturnal. He can probably see in the dark with them eyes right there. And you see he's already aware. You're right, he's got the Z drops. I've never had those. Little burnt. Have you had those? Have you had any of those? Any of the eye drops at all?
They're very refreshing. I've had, yeah, Takedo gave me a set of them.
Oh, for real?
And Goichi, actually. Yeah. But anyway, so Kawano going in with the Colleen, as you were talking about earlier, in regards to this matchup.
You know, I'm really curious. You know, Kawano, after his loss, you know, even Daigo has said he has grown so much as a player. And we also, like, there was a picture of him at the gym, you know, taking out that anger, that frustration at the gym. I'm curious to see how much that's going to drive him to take these wins, right? Especially Street Fighter League, now that you have another opportunity to prove yourself, right? And Kawano's always looking for that opportunity. He's grown so much. If there's a player that's worldwide in the Street Fighter 5 world, you know, just in general, that has grown, is definitely Kawano. I think he's in one of those top spots for that kind of thing. But for the home trivia, it says that Gachikun has saying that he has not returned to Hiroshima for the past 2 years, and it seems tough within the year for him. So that's kind of been difficult with everything that's been going on, you know, with the pandemic and stuff like that. And his parents have only met this kid once, so I hope they can meet soon. You know, so I'm kind of happy that we have Street Fighter League. That it being so rough, but I'm glad that we have something to, you know, give the players to kind of keep them active and things like that, you know, with everything that's been going on. Shout out to the production crew and just Street Fighter League coming through again to give them something to kind of take their minds off this stuff, because it's rough, man. This pandemic has been horrible on all of us.
Right, so we're going into it, right? Like we talked about the matchup, Colleen versus Urien. I feel like there isn't too much that Kawano has not prepared for, to be real honest with you. I think overall, he's been more than effective in taking down a lot of the Urien players in Japan.
I mean, I was going to say that Japan is the land of the Urians, but it seems like everywhere these days is the land of the Urians. It has been for some time, but I feel like more players are adding that Urian to the repertoire, so you definitely have to prepare for that character no matter where you're at. And obviously, if you're playing Tokido, the likes of other people like that, Ryusei and stuff, even before Street Fighter League, you're prepared for that character. You're ready for it. You're ready for the grill. You're ready to cage them in. And Colleen having the parry situation can keep him out at bay in neutral play, but the fireballs may be a problem until she gets bar, and then you have to wager, do I want to use this bar, V-trigger, or, you know, V-bar, or whatever, or EX to get through, to smooth through and enact my pressure.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Honestly, I'm really curious to see what Ryusei is going to bring to the table against Kawano. Again, we talked about some of the new generation. You kind of touched up on it a little bit before, how Kawano was one of those newer players, the newer generation that has really been setting the pace for everybody. I think Ryusei is also on the cusp of doing that. I think on the cusp of being one of the greats, at least in the top 3 when it comes to that discussion of being one of the best newer generation up-and-comers. I would watch his progress overall, where he wasn't taking it as seriously. Like, he was good. He was playing against some of the best, and he was like hanging with the best. He would come stateside or even just to North America in general and would actually body some of the players stateside, but there was something in him that clicked, I feel like, after watching him play a little bit more in Japan, where he told himself, or actually he made that statement, he's like, you know what, I really want to take it a little bit more seriously. I want to know how far I can go with it. I forgot what interview it was, but I believe since then, he's really stepped up his Urien game. It's not as gimmicky, right? He doesn't take as many risks. It's, if anything, they're all calculated risks. And he goes for plays that are as effective as can be. So this side of Ryusei has been very enlightening and entertaining to see. I'm really curious how it's going to be against the current state of Kawano.
That's wild. My man's not been serious mode just yet. Like, the side that we saw of Ryusei, who was already strong, has not even turned on. The final form isn't even here. We might be seeing it at Street Fighter League Japan. This might be the evolved version, and you definitely got to do it right here. Good 8 squad, favorite OZ going up against each other. The top teams already finding a medium punch with punch, puts the EX on them, and the javelin. Gotta get out of the corner, my friend.
Oh, he's stuck there. He's hanging out there for a little bit, and it's no discredit to Ryusei. Okay, I like that blow up, the crouching heavy punch to check to see if Kawano was in a late tech or even press a button on wake up. I like that.
These buffers, brother. He knows what he wants to do. I like that he's watching for that medium kick. Here's the activation, though. The tide turner, like the side switch with the headbutt. That's up top, the second mirror. Chase down with the crouch fears. Doubling down.
That would have been so scary if he let it rip with like an EX. Of course it's gonna be by ways of stand heavy punch. You kidding me? You know how often that normal hits is, Colleen?
I feel like if there was an overall statistic for how many times across the board, doesn't matter where it's at for any player, it's got to be like 90%. That is a typical of her game plan. The fierce and the so many other things just setting up shop. And I like this buffer again. The EX pressure the corner with the parabellum. Put him in a coffin with the throw in the crouch to kick to check that wake-up situation too. And the light buffer into the hands. Again, the corner pressure we've seen before from Kwanzaa. Just delete this character's health.
Armbar and the stun was just enough, but it's going to be a little difficult for Kawano to finish it out here. He's going to need another reset. He's going to get it off of this, right? He's going to backstep, medium punch, and he still went for it. Ryusei did the unthinkable. The forbidden tech. Checking the lows as if you were going to bait a throw. That is a Street Fighter classic.
I do like the decision, though, from Kawano on the reverse to wake up with violence, immediately finding that counter hit conversion and sealing it. Ryusei is currently at full wins, by the way. He's already played 2 times so far. This could be his first loss, and Kawano could be the one to do it. Already strong corner pressure, putting Ryusei on the back foot and not being able to enact a big comeback, right? We're not seeing too much off the mirror situations. Neutral got to be a little bit better, but Kawano just allowing that. Kawano game point.
Yeah, currently, the way it's been played out, it feels like Ryusei has not been able to outplay Kawano in neutral. He's just been absolutely dominant, right? Not being able to utilize the fireballs properly, not really able to. Look at that, just with the outside of the range and the timing from Kawano to let those lights rip. Ryusei has not found his rhythm yet.
He's got 2 left feet, that medium kick trying to come through, but we've seen Kawano just confidently punish that, and now just walking him down. He smells blood in the water, finds the conversion to the EX, with a javelin on him, again with the parabellum, stuns rising. Oh, you tried to tech?
He gets the safe jump afterwards. It's too far away, right? He had the safe jump on deck no matter what. He did the neutral jump roundhouse and then slightly delayed the crouching medium punch into parabellum. That was so dominant from Kawano. This is just looking like a complete wash-up, to be quite honest with you. Maybe the dim lights has got him relaxed.
It kind of chilled him out. When you're fighting a character like Yuri and it's so explosive, you kind of want to be in a chilled out mood, be able to react to everything and kind of calm down this character. Maybe it is helping out, you know? No pun intended with the chill thing, you know? Bar him up like that. Kawano staying solid until commentator's curse comes through, the double medium, and the walk-up Batista bomb.
You see the whiff punishing attempts. You know, Kawano is very much so weary of the ranges Ryusei has been wanting to play at. Counter hit conversion off the 2 mediums. He did maintain the charge. This is ever so important if Ryusei wants to stay alive. He needs to keep Kawano contained here. He cannot afford this activation because now it's going to be Mix City. Are you going to be a permanent resident or are you just visiting?
A broke resident about to be in a second. Runs the EX, gets a knockdown. Back throw. Crouching mini kick comes through and the clutch caught the walk back. Just like that, the super situation.
He's actually dead. He found a hotel and a motel for cheap, and instead, afterwards, he got. He turned in the wrong corner and just became a permanent residency of Mix City. One with the concrete. Population, you say. And that's the first loss he's had so far. Kawano fun to do it. So dominant, so understanding of the situation when he wants to press the buttons and things like that. And as well as soon as he felt that Ryusei was just down and out and just feeling a little less confident in his play, Kawano with the walk down, found the pressure and found the escape too. That was also super important. You don't want to be caught in the corner against Urian with V-bar at all. Stayed solid, found his pressure, found his win. You know, that's the kind of play we would expect from Kawano, the way that he performed over at CPT, right? That had to be like a very heartbreaking loss, considering he was so close to getting into the cup. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to be playing on pretty much all cylinders. He's going to be firing from all cylinders. Despite all the donuts you saw on the left, Kawano taking the W no matter what. No anti-airs, not a problem. Didn't even happen. No reversals. Colleen doesn't have it. That just goes to show you how much of the ground game was actually played by both players, right? Ryusei not even opting to go for any sort of jump-ins, but we see the anti-airs coming in from Colleen. To be fair, some of them were safe jumps, so I mean, like, that statistic might be a little skewed, but no EX headbutts. A lot of discipline coming in from Ryusei. To be fair, though, there are a lot of situations where he couldn't. Like, safe jumps would have made it whiff. The light buffers would have made it whiff. There was no chance for Ryusei to actually bust out safely.
Yeah, and that character already has a slower reversal compared to other characters, so you know, not always the best option. But Ryusei going down right here, that's 1 point on the side of Good 8 squad, already starting off super strong, and there's no discussion. Gachikun already saying, hey, we're ready, let's get into it. Already feeling great after the Kawano win. I would be too. After Kawano sets a tone, I'd be feeling great too. So Gachikun already happy with it. Pugera's boxer is coming up next. Kichipamu looking a little upset, like, dog, didn't I just put the work in on Tokido and you're not going to send me up? Look at those eyes. Like, come on now. Come on now. Put me in. Let me play.
Very valid point. I think what I'd imagine coming in from Tokido, after that loss, he would have gone into the lab and been like, all right, well, I can't lose to Kichipamu again. So with that in mind, I think I can understand where he's coming from, but I mean, in terms of the team and the captain's decision of putting Kichipamu on the bench, I can kind of understand it. It's like, all right, well, since he's so adamant about this particular matchup, we're going to throw in a monkey wrench and give him maybe myself, the anchor, as the captain. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Gachikun is going to be the anchor, but for now, we're going to get Pugera coming up as Balrog. It's a matter of what V-Skill is going to be used. Obviously, it has to be the V-Skill 2 in this matchup. There are no fireballs at all to fear in this matchup. He doesn't have to KK beat through anything, so I'd imagine he's going back to his normal lineup of V-Skill 2, V-Trigger 1.
That must be very comfortable for Pugera, who has really put this character on the map this year, especially with that V-Skill 2, where I feel like people didn't understand the power behind it, and he really stuck with it. Has been kind of steering away from the V-Skill 2 to V-Skill 1 when the fireballs come into play, as you just said. But when he's able to shine with it, oh man, it's gonna be plus frames, positivity all damn day. You gotta be super careful. Then again, if you're Karen, you don't need V-Trigger to make these wins, right? You can V-reversal quite a bit. You can get him off you as much as you want. The V-bar isn't necessary for victory. You already have great buttons and great damage that can be on the output. And Banshan says he wants to bring his family to a vacation in Hokkaido. They haven't got to travel at all lately, you know, makes sense in regards to what's been going on. So he would love to take him on a nice vacation. You know, with that guap on the line with that yen, that would definitely help out.
I hope not during this season. I feel like being in the north at this time of the year seems pretty cold, but the food sounds pretty amazing over in Hokkaido. I've done a little bit of research, but that sounds pretty good. Ooh. Speaking of, look at this. Tokido's aiming to bench press 220 pounds. It's 100 kilograms. Jeez, dude.
Dang.
That's actually pretty ridiculous.
I think earlier we saw Kawano.
I can barely bench press like 150, bro. This guy's insane. Yeah. I love it. Tokido is transformed. I gotta see what Tokido looks like now in person. I'm actually eager about that.
Bro, that buff back when he does the back turn right there to show you the back. Let me see what that's all about. I mean, the dude has in the place where he's playing an actual gym where he's playing at. So as soon as he's done with matches, he's pumping iron like he had a prison.
Fresh out of jail? Is that the look that everybody's going for now? Anyways,
yep, Tokido different.
Urien actually might have that same kind of look. But anyways, going into the matchup, right? Karen versus Balrog. I feel like this is a pretty decent matchup for Balrog. I've seen this played out by like Brian F and Punk, but I don't think like it's too tough in terms of trying to stop Karen in the neutral. I think Karen's neutral is slightly better, and also her pressure against Boxer is far stronger, but I think Balrog could hold his own in neutral, like slightly.
Yeah, well-spaced dash punches. You know, you do have the damage output that can match hers, if not more, and she definitely crumbles like paper once you get going. And we said the plus frames will definitely be an advantageous thing. And she's got to spend that EX bar for the command dash to really get going, to really get in for a punish. So hopefully Banshan, if he sees an opportunity, goes for that. But if that's off the table, then that bar is not, you know, I mean, if the bar is off the table, then it's not something you get the challenge, right? You have to get the dash up, and you're too far out. That's just a free V-skill right there for Pugera. And again, I'm sure they played this matchup before. I actually, at the Interworld Open, they did play each other, and it was Pugera that took it over Banshan.
Yeah. So one of the things I did like to see from Pugera is how often he would throw out like medium kick and heavy punch in like to talk a little bit more about the specifics in regards to the neutral. I do like the fact that Pugera is willing to kind of toss out those medium punches and throw out these buffers and whatnot, just outside of the ranges that Banshan's predicting a counter poke. Pugera's done a fantastic job of outplaying Banshan in the neutral department. We've seen that over at IWO. We've seen it. I've seen it on CFN. I'm kind of curious to see what Bonchan has ready this time to stop this part of the game, how to stop Pugera or prevent Pugera from pretty much taking all the momentum.
Curious to see, we're about to get into it again. Who's going to get these points? Good 8 squad already in the lead with that first one. See who's going to get it done right here.
Okay, so here we go. Again, we see a little bit slow and steady kind of pace, right? There's the dash punch, and immediately follows up by a heavy punch to check Bonchan. But there it is. Yes, the big whip punish.
Off the fears. You see Bonchan constantly just adjusting his spacing, down backing. Still gets clipped low, though. Luckily blocks the heavy kick, no crush, medium kick. Kind of like that as a poke. Interruption before the dash punch comes through. Ooh, wasn't able to get the timing on that dash punch.
Checking afterwards, we see a lot of mediums coming out. I feel like there's a big hint that maybe a turnaround punch should be coming out soon. There's been a lot more activity from these mediums and checking away at it, but Bonchan just sitting there and blocking it, doesn't even want to try to counter poke it yet. We've seen the kind of damage it could lead to. We might even see tap punch into activation.
Oh, for real? Bro, let me find out he got that today. But Bonchan came to play, had the buffer off the medium, EX. He's in there.
Has to come out soon.
In the corner. Do it, do it. Show me, Pugera. Show me what you got.
Okay, so he's not charging up tap at all. That's unfortunate. But either way, I would have loved to see like the chip damage worth a throw kind of thing, or the throw damage worth a chip. I'll think about that one later.
Backs up with the V skill, got the plus frames going. You can delete him if he gets that one hit.
It's true.
He knows it.
10 seconds on the clock. I don't think there's anything Bonchan's going to do. Yeah, he's going to play it nice and easy. He checks the dash against Pugera, crouching jab, nice and easy. There wasn't going to be any sort of overcommitment from Bonchan in that sequence.
He's been pretty good about that. Does get checked with the EX right there after the buffer, but he's been pretty good about staying outside the space. As soon as I say that, that's a fist to face. Stun is rising up, trying to open up, V reversal, block though. Pugera making him waste that V bar. That means no pushback, so he can stay in.
There's the dash punch, finds the activation. No, he's going to go right into it, actually, after the second dash punch. Big EX for Senha. Get off of me. Statement from Bonchan. Checking the lows immediately. Dash swing low. Speaking of, Pugera now on the rise to stop. Yeah, oh my god, he's still able to tech that.
Spins the rest, or spins a little bit more. The V-bar, back throw. Pugera ready to pop. May not happen this round. He might be going down. That's a super, but the scaling might save him.
Oh, what in the world? I thought he was hella dead. That was 2 hits.
Lucky boy.
We thought he was hella dead.
Full chance right here. Pugera about to make that comeback. Either chip, no dip.
Boom.
Oh my gosh. When do you see that not kill though, Vicious? Like on some real stuff?
It was Magic
You're
Pixel.
real lucky right here, Pugera.
It was indeed Magic Pixel. That was low forward, Tenko into shoulder. That's like the maximum output you could get off of that. But still. You know, I like that. But that's, you know, a meter that could have been spent otherwise. Bonchan still getting the damage off of that whip punish. I like that. Stand short, counter hit, but no. No conversion. I think
He's
it was
been so
too
good
far
at
to get just from Tenko.
Fortunate, but he's not too far for that confirm right there. Getting right back into him. And again, Bonchan catching the OS off the throw. EX for Senha, there you go. He has been so smart in adjusting his space and place at where he plays. Let the dash punches whip, or he'll get close enough for it to be punishable. Maybe not finding all the optimal confirms every so often, but at least getting that push to the corner where Balrog suffers.
You see Bonchan, despite getting the W, he wasn't as pleased with it. There was a sequence where he missed a confirm off of the Just Frame Tenko. He went for a sweep. He wanted to go for, obviously, the Sapo into Orochi. But there's been a handful of instances where Bonchan might have been a little off the mark, if we can really put it that way. There's been a little bit of mishaps, so he's had opportunities for Pugera to come back. So I think overall the way he played, very clean. If he were to pretty much fix up the little parts of it that were not clean, a little messy, he got a little bit of a couple of drops here. I think he'd be just fine. I think he'd win in dominant fashion because so far he's been controlling the neutral very, very well against Pugera.
On the side of Pugera, would like to see a little optimization on some of these sequences. We saw that very little bit. I mean, it's easier said than done, right? That very little bit would have been it right there. On the reverse, I should say, I'm sorry, for Bonchan, Pugera able to seal it. But as you're saying, like, go back to Bonchan, the fact that even though he had lost, he's still like, dang, I have to be better. I have to be more solid. I have to be more aware of what I'm doing. That's championship level mentality right there. You can't just sit there and say, bro, I got my confirms, I got my win. It's more about how do I stay stable throughout this entire match? How do I better myself? They're on game point, but this could all go away if Pugera comes different.
Does get the screw upper confirmed, gets himself a V skill afterwards, and I'm liking this. Yeah, plus frame still a lot of damage already on the board as Pugera. And ooh, yes, that's the counter hit I was looking for. That's the kind of counter poking I wanted to see. No, not opted to go for the V skill after the EX screw upper.
Gonna pop that just yet. Maybe afraid of the EX command or man dash, I should say. The Bonchan in. Caught the V-ship. That's unfortunate. I feel like if you V-ship like that, you're dying tired against a crouch being a kick character like Karen. Privileged.
Jesus, that was a really, really nasty stand roundhouse, getting the full conversion afterwards. But this is so great, right? After that jump out, it's all Pugera now. He gets to control this pace way, way easier than trying to fight from midstream. But still, the jump outs back to back. EX dash punch to the grill.
Dental plan. Pugera. And we didn't see an EX upper, but at least he got the ground game edition right here. I would like to see more anti-airs from him coming through, just as you know, as an aside, because Bonchan with the jump in, he's usually so good about them uppers. He puts them on the deck, it might be even more difficult for Bonchan to come through the neutral. But here's the activation off the sweep. Gets the knockdown off the palms and the throw. Close to the corner you go.
And man, I gotta say, Pugera has been so good when it comes to spacing out these dash punches. Bonchan has not been able to punish more than one, I feel like. He's only punished one on block. And even then, it wasn't even a full conversion.
Looking a lot better this round, this game, I should say. EX, V-skill puts a palm on it. Jumping median kick, I like that challenge right back at him. One such situation here for Pugera. Dash up throw, Bonchan going for the pressure. Ooh, that could have been a crouch median kick, luckily. They solid.
Yeah, I don't know about that V reversal after the EX dash punch, though, from Bonchan. He was just trying to make sure he kept Pugera honest. After that plus situation, you've got to be dead. You're actually dead.
Oh, yeah. No question in that one.
Not enough life left. Not a lot of life left on that dump truck. There was no way.
Bonchan on set point. Even with these drops and these odd decisions, he's still keeping it solid. And against a character like Balrog, against a person like Pugera, that's saying a lot, you know? To be able to have a decent enough game plan where even if you are making mistakes, you're still being able to find these finishes, and all it takes is you tightening up to make this even more dominant. Dangerous person.
Ooh. Medium punch, but still testing after the dash punch? What? Plus frames after that. And I like that, yeah, side switch into the meaty there from Bonchan, but still these dash punches have been so dominant against Bonchan finding the activation. Yes, there's the Rekkas. Ooh! Ooh!
The shimmy. Oh,
what is that?
That's a big drop. Caught in the corner. You let Pugera get back, and that stun acclimated off him. Pugera stands solid. Just this is a moment he's gonna take this back. These drops, these are things that you have to be able to pick up if you're Pugera, and say, all right, I gotta find my momentum. This is my turn. This is my time to shine. Interruption.
What a great buffer. Gets a V skill too after that. Checking the lows immediately. Plus frame city everywhere. He is making sure all of these blocks are plus.
Oh, the punish V-ship to V-ship. And finds the finish Bonchan. Oh, that's so good. There ain't many things.
What?
There ain't many things you know, I like better than V-shift action. That shows me how well, like how high the action is in Street Fighter V right now, where people are using these defensive measures but thinking above each other, right? Like playing around the V-shift stuff is so important. V-shift back to V-shift and finding a punish at the ready. Bonchan was steady. That was sick. I'm sorry, I just, that gets me.
Understandable. V shift to V shift, right? That's been it's been developing more and more. We see it a little bit more often than not now in certain CPTs, but it's still such a valid strategy. Bonchan having the right options towards the end, getting a 2-0 victory. We're all tied up 1 apiece in terms of the current matchup between these two Titans, Good 8 Squad and V6 plus FAV Roto Z. 1 to 1 point each. The anchor match is going to decide who will be in the top of the rankings. It's going to be pretty pivotal here because, again, we talked about the #1 team going straight to the grand finals when it comes to the playoffs, right? What matters right now is who is going to fill in the rest of the spots between 2nd through 5th place as we take a look at the stats here. So Pugera getting the anti-air 50%. Nothing on the reversals, though, because that's just the nature of Balrog. Bonchan, although missing, I will say, actually, there were 2 attempts that were missed. Man, I really got to watch these matches back because I swear there was 2 attempts from Bonchan where he tried to jump out twice in the corner and it was uncontested. But EX Senha finding the mark as well, coming in from Bonchan, 1-1, 100%. Very nice.
Pretty good score. That's one thing that we didn't see from Pugera is like his uppers that are usually so on point. Letting Bonchan go for free like that is just damage off the table. So we're gonna have to look at that later on. But right now, this match, as you said before, will decide who's gonna be the top spot in the rankings, and you definitely need that. Man, oh man, y'all got hit with some straight hardcore action right here. In the finale, Gachikun going up against Tokido. On paper, not many Urians like this matchup at all, right? In fact, I watched an FGC translated video, y'all should check that out by the way, where Nemo was like praying that Gachikun would get out of the CPT before he got up to him. Before they fought, he was like, I don't want to fight no Rashid, dog. I hope someone just takes him out before I get to him. So that's not the most fun matchup right here. Gachikun coming up. Let's see, adjust the camera a little bit. He's gonna make sure his face is right there so y'all can see the reactions. What do you think about this matchup overall, though?
I was going to say before the matchup itself, I wanted to talk about the current standings, right? Although Good 8 Squad is at the top of the leaderboard, you know, technically the FAV team had the advantage going into it because Tokido did win the preseason game. So if anybody ever looks at the standings and they're curious and like overall rankings and how the matches went, you're thinking to yourself, why is it that Good 8 Squad is at the top? Well, the fact of the matter is, like, they've won all of their matches or whatever. They've won, or majority of their matches, I should say. Whereas FAV, they've won and lost a couple of them, but they still have a solid record because of those extra 2 points. It's actually pretty pivotal winning that preseason game. But going into the matchup itself, I think Rashid is going to be a nuisance no matter what. I think this is a matchup that's not too bad for him it's not bad for him in the slightest. There's so many tools that he has to contest Urian in neutral, to contest whatever he has in terms of like medium kicks, medium pressure, I should say, fireball pressure. He can V-skill through it at the right spacing. And I feel like this is one of those instances where Urian, although being the tyrant that he is, he does have Aegis Reflector, he does have hard hitting combos, etc. I just think that Rashid pretty much controls the neutral a lot better.
I mean, this character's a pester. You know, it doesn't matter what matchup, as you just said right there. Rashid definitely has the tools, the kind of style and profile on this character. Also, the aerial approach kind of difficult to deal with too. With your Rashid, you can definitely approach this guys a little bit better than many of the other characters. Kind of like how Cammy deletes Urian off the table too, as well. But we'll see how it goes, though. Tokido definitely has shown something different in terms of bad matchups. You don't care what's in front of his face. But as soon as I say this, Gachikun, put him in his place, the corner position. He's starting to live here, dog.
We talked about this, right? I mean, he's able to control the pace so well. How many times have we seen Rashid matchups end up in the corner so quickly, right? With Rashid as the offender. There's so many instances where it's just so difficult to get Rashid off of your back. It's no wonder Nemo was like, I never want to play against a Rashid, because look at that. You try to contest him with a fireball, V-skill through. You try to contest him with normals, I have the windshield wiper of crouch heavy punch. It's so difficult to contest.
And it's also just that confidence that Gachikun has. I remember Angry Bird kind of listing off what the different Rashids do at their best, and he was like, it's the confidence that Gachikun has. Just this confidence that walk down neutral, confident in his play, always has a plan, always has something at the ready, right? And all that just leads up to, you're put in the corner, 20 seconds in, you're like, what happened? Trying to get out with the X tackle, don't matter. With the -2, the throw, Gachikun puts him right back in it.
Yeah, Sienna's pretty much said it the best, right? Gachikun can really play an amazing offense, but what it is actually his defense and his tendency to kind of sit in front of your face and wait for you to make the mistake. I think there's so many times where, like, just like this, he's not overextending it, right? He's not trying to play the counter poke game as often. He's waiting for you, and he's totally content with that. That is a lot of discipline.
Yeah, you got to take these risks, dog. You got to come through just waiting for him. It's like, bro, you want to activate? You want to dash? I got you. Crouch light and non-committal too. Buttons that are not super committal. I like that crouch light. Here's a throw. Little bit of damage going. Be reversal. We out there with the punish. God, Gotcha-kun. So godlike. And you know what he said? He said, only thing on his mind right now is winning. One touch situation.
Backs away, doesn't want to. Yeah, that was an excellent punish from Taquito. Man, he knows everything when it comes to frame data. That was a ridiculous punish against the whirlwind shot. Oh no, you're actually dead!
The genius gamer. The genius pro gamer. Dash up, crouch, just get got.
You tried to leave? You tried to leave without shaking my hand? No, sir. Not today.
Not done making a deal. Not done making a deal. Not leaving here till you walk out with this car, dog. I mean it.
That's
you
the
need
thing.
to have this.
No deal is done. Where I'm from, no deal is done until you shake my hand. That's what he said. That's what he was saying.
Oh my God, the back and forth with this match. We were sitting here talking about how good Gotcha-kun is, but finally Taquito finds those moments, able to capitalize. We've seen that with the Akuma play. We're seeing it right here with the Urian. Those Bardo threatening with two V-trigger style.
Oh, you're dead. You're actually dead. Again, a big comeback there from Gotcha-kun. And I don't mean in terms of how the round went. I just mean like the mental fortitude from Gotcha-kun. Although he made a severe mistake with that whirlwind shot in the previous round, he immediately bounced back and took the momentum away from Taquito. That's going to do mental damage to the man, the genius himself, the murder face genius. But we already know he's like more than capable of resetting his mental. Fact of the matter is, Gotcha-kun just rebuttaling with that offensive sequence, despite being in the corner, was so damn good.
I love the back and forth of this match, but this is a best of 5, burst of 3 situation right here. So we're gonna have some more action, more games to play. So that mental could come back a little bit faster. You know, the first 2s might be a little bit too quick, but now you get a little more time to, you know, acclimate and deliberate and say, okay, you trying to do this, this, and this, I got you. Do what it do.
That's a giant jump in, catching the recovery on the low medium kick. I like that a lot. Just great timing.
The nerf this season.
The whirlwind shots, keeping him contained, keeping Taquito contained, I should say. Ever so weary and even walking up. And that's like more we've seen. That's the most whirlwind shots we've seen out of Gotcha-kun thus far. No check on the dash, instead suffering from the counter hit. Big conversion from Gotcha-kun. Another throw, here we go. Another counter hit. Hot. Damn.
You want a challenge? It's so difficult, especially when you don't have a 3-frame, right? And you know that your EXDP is a little bit slower than other characters and can be easily baited by this kind of character right here too. There's so many setups for Rashid to do in the corner in terms of baiting out the DP. So there's so many things that you cannot do. And Gotcha-kun stiffen that up, find the counter hits, finds a win.
Yeah, stopping him dead in his tracks before another whirlwind shot can come out, or any normal, really. I think Taquito needs to strike while the iron's hot. Getting Gotcha-kun in this corner. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That neutral jump anti-air was so sick. EX spinning mixer, finding the right time to be risky. So smart.
Bust out. Got B-trigger 2. Locked and loaded. Don't get no activation just yet. Taquito keeping out with these medium punch buttons and medium kick buttons at a distance. Second before he can come through. Use those long limbs, but don't get whip punished.
Look at how patient he is. Gotcha-kun just waiting. He's looking for counter pokes also. The chase down, that would have been so sick.
Definitely a highlight clip. Gotcha-kun does have him in the corner. Lost a lot of health, but there's anyone that can make the most out of these corner situations. It's Gotcha-kun. That would have been if it was EX, I think. Or a tackle, but didn't have the charge. Ooh. But the jab check will do it. Just a dab. Just a jab will do ya.
So on full critical right now, Gotcha-kun still trying to figure out what now against Taquito. He's been a little bit more active in moving around and checking with his low medium kicks. And that would have been tempting too. That roundhouse whirlwind shot, I would have thought Taquito would have reacted to it and jumped, but that would have actually been his demise considering how sharp the angle is.
No tap, max distance with the coral kick. Hard to deal with. Tokido constantly spacing himself out, down back in for the charge too as well. Trying to push Gachikun in the corner, but you know this character can leave at any time if he feels fine. So many ways to find that approach too. So Tokido has to watch out for that. Back to mid-screen we go with the crouching meaty kick. Gachikun trying to find an opening.
What's so interesting about this play right here, also coming from Tokido, right? He's moving back and forth a handful of times. He's giving away the information that he's not holding his charge, so that even if Gachikun happens to get hit outside of a counter hit, right, he's not suffering too much from it. They're all minor hits that don't lead to big damage, just the fact that he's not charging.
So those dashes right there, getting checked, you feel so comfortable dealing with this character. And that's a big thing. That's a good thing to point out. X tackle though comes through in the clutch. We set crouch fierce. Trade,
boy, the
combo.
big
Yes,
trade
sir.
off. And time to get that V-skill 1. This is our huge tide turner for Tokido. He gets to play the time a lot more and maintain his charge. EX busts out. Here comes the mirror. You're actually going to run into it. Oh, no.
He's out of there. Swap back in the corner.
No.
The jump fierce. Jump back. Lay him up.
That's the handshake he was looking for. The fadeaway handshake with the look. Absolutely clean from Tokido. And just as soon as he got that life lead, he was big chilling. He's like, yes, I don't have to play neutral anymore. I can just hang back, hold my charge, and be an even bigger threat with this meter. Oh, I have V-skill 1 as well? You better come to me. This is going to be free.
Round 1.
Then now game to game. He's going to take this. I do like, as you said before, Gachikun being able to check these and understand like what Tokido's doing with the charges. But Tokido now getting a little more aggressive. The jumping meaty kick to come through against the crouching fierce. We haven't seen that just yet. And the anti-air on the deck, the double fierce again. 2 scoops, no diet.
Heavy punch still trying to find the mark now. Gachikun is trying to work his way out of this corner and trying to take Tokido by surprise with some of these dashes. Surprise, not a lot of checks yet, but we'll see. We'll see how this plays out now. Gachikun's back in the middle of the screen. Gets a little bit of freedom. Also with trigger on deck, we're going to see if whether or not it's going to come out from a confirm or if he's just going to go in raw.
All right, hit. EX comes through in the clutch again. The trade tackle. No neutral November, baby. I'm telling you. The quick stuff. By punish. Gachikun feel a little bit lost in neutral now. He's the activation. And they return over seat with a challenge here for Tokido. Off the jabs. And the crouching meaty kick again to interrupt the crouch fierce. So quick with it.
There's so much control now coming from the side of Tokido, right? I was thinking about it earlier in terms of like game 1, how Tokido was getting counter hit, counter poke numerous times. There's a different rhythm about Tokido now. He's a lot more weary of the heavy punches. Well, except for that moment. He's been taking to the skies a lot more often with that neutral jump. And he noticed that Gachikun has not been as reliant on his forward medium punch as an anti-air as often anymore. So yeah, he's willing to throw out those neutral jumps a little bit more often.
It's been really smart with the medium kick coming through and just using the medium punches and the crouching medium kick, and then setting up every so often, layering in that EX trade tackle to catch that forward movement, adding up in damage.
Dashing up, trying to steal turns. Gachikun's still aware on defense. Tokido tried to pull a fast one, but this man plays baseball. He knows about stealing bases.
Base second base. Here's the face and a DP ender. Not the place you want to be. EX have fun, well timed. But does it again with the XP on the other side?
He's got to be 100% now, right? I think he's hit every single EX spinning mixer thus far. My man Gachikun is looking real clean.
Man, that's the old special right there. You hit me with the EXDP, I'm gonna run that right back at you. You play with the things, me too.
EX
again,
finds the mark.
It's a whiff.
Oh my god! How many times in this game alone is he gonna hit with his EX spinning mixer? I like that. A little bit of a hezzy. Nice anti-air against the knees. Nice work there from Gachikun, stopping that momentum from Tokido, and the bait on the EX headbutt as well.
This is the damage factor right here with this character, the JP special. The dive kick coming through. And this should be enough. Eagle spike coming through. Bro, Gachikun. I love how he waits to access his damage in V-Trigger and with the bar. That's big for Rashid. That's not really a high damage character. Like, he pushes into the corner and it's annoying. Obviously, he'll make some damage up in the corner. But where he really shines is when that V-Trigger 2 is popped. He's able to get the extension on his combos. And you see that EX dive kick coming through. We've seen Tokido anti-air so many times with crouch fears get got. In a long set, those things are so imperative.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the corner situation, right? You could do something like a slight mix-up when it comes to jumping in a shallow angle. You can either let the eagle spike rip in the front, or you can hit him with the cross-up, as well as maybe even jumping off the wall, right? There's so many instances where Rashid could confuse you. That is a huge counter opportunity now for Gachikun. That was a great equalizer with the amount of damage taken out, but now Tokido still not having V-Trigger after that entire sequence. Now he does. Off the wall, but he's in the corner. Gachikun he might be in trouble. Nope, I lied the entire time. He back through him, now resets the situation. It's gonna be just fine for Gachikun.
It was a setup the entire time. Gachikun staying fine, has the lead, but we've seen this before. We've seen Tokido come back from the precipice of pain. We got that B-Trigger at the bottom, ready to pop. You got the EX bar to come through in the neutral, but not today. Gachikun on set point, interruption consistently in the neutral. And the way that he's been just sapping away the health early in the round against Tokido, and these V-reversal punishes are super tight. I've not seen too many Rashid players consistently have V-reversal punishes for a lot of things that are thrown out. They want to see that V-bar for V-Trigger, but not Gachikun. He's so smart with the bar.
We see here again a very patient game coming from both, but still Gachikun's just coming up as the better man when it comes to these crouching heavy punches, just finding the mark a couple of times over. A little bit of a desperation call. EX tackle, just not finding the mark, being -2. Gachikun took advantage of that, got the back throw. And what's important about that is he gets so much room to work with again to play this dance, or like dance this kind of dance against Tokido.
This is his song, dog. You handed him the aux. This is what you get. Just fireball, dash up. I don't want to listen to this. Too bad, I'm driving. In the driver's seat, definitely. Hands on the wheel. 10-2.
That could have been a little bit too far out, right? There's no way he would have got anything else off of that. That is a giant jump in that Tokido actually wasn't ready for. That better be on the counter as to miss anti-airs. That was, you talk about things that are imperative, that was a critical moment for Tokido to catch his break. That's how you know how much he's paid attention to the ground game, because you have guys like Tokido completely missing his opportunity to anti-air. And also, to be fair, with a character like Rashid, it's so difficult to tell when an eagle spike is coming, which especially the way that Gachikun plays with the amount of confidence in his mix-ups and stuff. Him willing to take those risks and throw those eagle spikes are just so confusing. So I don't blame Tokido in the slightest. It just so happens to be the jump that he missed that got him killed, and it's so surprising.
Correct, dog, and that's a big amount of reward right here. Top spot of the team right here, solidifying their area as the first. 3 points to 1, and on his mind was just W's. He can't make him think different. All he sees is W's.
You know, I'm not too surprised in terms of the big results in terms of Rashid versus Urian. I'm just surprised that it came down the way it did, like between these two players. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a huge difference when you talk about the players. Damn, that's a lot of 100s. This man is passing with flying colors. This guy is the valedictorian of today's matches for Street Fighter League. This guy is 100%. He don't miss.
Really didn't miss at all. Like, he did the extra credit. He's the one type of teacher, like, teacher, can we get a little extra credit too? Like, check the stat. I've not seen stats like that this entire league. Maybe I'm wrong. You might have saw it differently. But I haven't seen stats at that high a level right here from Gachikun, from anybody besides Gachikun.
It's tough to say. I'm gonna be real honest. We have seen a pair of 100s before, but never in that degree, never in that kind of number where it's, you know, what's it, 3 for 3 in EX reversals, and then 7 for 7 in anti-airs. That is phenomenal stats for Gachikun. The strongest we've seen him play thus far against one of the highly favored teams with V6 FAV Roto Z. Really curious to see what the post-game interview is going to be like and what exactly their plan was, because they were talking about it from the get-go. They were extremely confident in what the formation was going to be and whatever plan they were going to execute. I couldn't tell if Gachikun was trolling or not, but I really am curious to see what their strategy was exactly.
Well, tell before we can get that, I feel like Gachikun obviously showed that he had the matchup knowledge with those few reversal punishes. And Gachikun saying that his body feels so hot right now after that match. Tokido makes your body he makes you sweat like that. Like, even though you don't see it on the players and sometimes they play, even with like a 3-1 score, the players are like they're shaky. You say he's been losing a lot in practice against Tokido, so that is a big victory for him. Practice matches are something different, but when it came down to the real deal at Street Fighter League Japan, he took that victory.
Well, you're right. Absolutely right. You're saying he's been losing a lot in practice matches against Tokido. But there's something that happens when it comes to like high competitive matches. Like, there's certain instances where like you kind of just zone in so much that you're not really thinking about those losses. You're only thinking about what works in those specific matchups. That was really, really smart, and it's really an amazing feeling. Kawano was saying that he wanted to use Claw for today, but changed his mind the day before. He's adding a little bit of tidbit towards the interview, but overall, Gachikun, again, despite having those L's against Tokido, it didn't even look like that was the case.
Yeah, it says that Pugera, despite did well, he did well despite losing. I really feel like, when you have those practice matches that show you where you're at against somebody, you're like, I got to get better. I have to improve. I have to take note of these things. And Gachiku's always been that type of player. In fact, when he lost to Fudo, he definitely found new ways to deal with poison. And that's just one element that shows you how strong of a competitor. That's Capcom Cup champion mentality right there. Gachiku saying the next episode will mark the first half, and they want to get all the wins. All of the wins. They want nothing left on the plate at all.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of games left to be played, but as it stands for Good 8 Squad, I think right now as it stands, they're at the most dominant position at the top of the leaderboards with the most points currently. Again, their biggest hurdle would have been the FAV team, and they've already played them twice. So as it stands right now, I think they're pretty much clear in the running for first place.
Yeah, it looks like they're at the top spot. Everyone's fighting for that second. Everyone's fighting for second. Well, that's still, I feel like a lot of things are still in contention. There's still a lot of matches we got to play. Still a lot of things that we have to see. Y'all can see everything on the YouTube, Twitch, and Milodon, the Capcom Fighters JP right there to catch all this great Street Fighter 5 action. Vicious, what is coming up next, dog?
I do believe for the next matchup at hand, as we get ready for it, Gyogun versus Camouflage Detonation. Both of these teams actually started off pretty rocky at the beginning of the season. They were pretty much at the bottom two. I know Gyogun spent a lot of time at the bottom, slowly climbed their way up to like 5th or 4th. Actually, at one point they were 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. Camouflage Detonation has been spending a good amount of time at the bottom as well, but have slowly started to climb the ranks. I think they might be in contention for that playoff spot. So this is going to be kind of rough. If Gyogun happens to fall to Detonation, they might be switching up in terms of the ranking, because again, not too many weeks left to play for some of these teams before the playoffs happen.
As we said, you want to get in that second and third area. 4th and 5th, maybe not so much, but you definitely want to be at the top spot and be at the top of the leaderboards, get that home position.
And so, yeah, when we talked about the playoffs, we didn't get to elaborate as much, but we'll get into it eventually. But just to kind of reiterate, if you're in the bottom 2 spots, if you're in 4th and 5th place, technically you'll be starting on the loser's side. And of course, if you're 4th, you're going to be starting from the home team. You'll have the home team advantage. If you're 5th, you have pretty much the bottom of the barrel luck, loser side, as well as the away team format, where you have to pretty much put your order in and your character selection early, so you get essentially counterpicked. But again, being in the playoff spot for any of these teams, it could still go either way. It could still come out even to a degree where you can't even get counterpicked. We've seen those instances before, but it all really depends. So we're getting yourselves ready. We just saw Good 8 Squad face off against V6 plus FAV Roto Z. We are about to see Gyogun versus Camouflage Detonation. Again, this is so imperative because this is playoff contention for these two teams. So when we come back, with more of the action. You guys definitely don't want to miss it. There's going to be a lot of tension, I feel like, going into this matchup. But that's just us here at the desk, or at least from our homes. What am I saying desk for? Anyways, we'll be back with more Street Fighter League Japan after this break.
Going right back into it, we have our second set of matches for the day. It's going to be Camouflage Detonation coming up for the away team, led by Iribashi Zangief, the sturdy breadwinner, of course, followed by the Evo Japan champion, Nauman with that impressive Sakura. Looking forward to seeing how he's going to perform, especially with his teammates backing him up with John Takauchi, the Prince of Light. My man Johnny Tak coming in with the Rashid, and of course the monk who's come back, the returning spearhead Tachikawa, as the fourth member rocking a plethora of characters as well. We've seen his E-Honda, we've seen his Poison a handful of times thus far in the league. Very curious to see what this team is going to do to face off against the others, part of Team Gyogu. And again, we talked about playoff contention. It's going to be ever so important for these guys to get as many points to solidify their spots.
That's right, but this team is no pushover. You've got 2D God Mago coming up on the deck, and then backed up by the rest of the M's, Machibo, Mr. Optimal. Man, so make sure to put that with the Mr. on it. Also going to be having, we're also seeing the hero of Sunrise, Moke. I feel like that one's forgotten a little bit in terms of the top machines, but has definitely been putting the work in. Suzaku, Mizuha, one of the strongest Colleen players. A team full of players that together, we saw them have not the best start, but they've been rising to the occasion. Mago been putting a lot of work. The rest of the team been putting a lot of work too. You saw Moke kind of fall short a little bit on a matchup that maybe he should have won. But these things, these moments, I feel like as we have more and more of the Street Fighter League episodes, they're going to make these adjustments. They're going to have team, meetings and things like that. Like, you need to make this better, this better, this better. And that's going to make this action even better because all these players are going to be at the 100 every time they fight.
Ooh, this is what I wanted to see. Now I'm up first with Sakura. I like that a lot. Starting off pretty strong. You see Johnny Tack coming in with that Cody, who's been slowly but surely coming up in the ranks. He's getting a couple of his wins, important W's at that. And the anchor is going to be none other than Itazan. Okay.
Wow. The home team picks here. But that is, while we're seeing Tachikawa on the bench. Once again, let's see what the home team has in store.
How interesting. Is Tachikawa actually going to... man, is he going to play? I feel like we need to put him in there.
Another person having to simmer while they're on the bench as a spectator. Just, I want to play so bad, but you got to be putting in the work. These players right here, though, have been doing a lot of work. John T out here, Nauman, you got Itabashi Zangief, all of them doing some of the damn near impossible depending on the matchup. Mago looks very happy, and he looks like he's taunting Tachikawa to come and play. Bro, Mago is unusual. This dude taunting him to come play. You know he's on the bench. You know he can't play. So you sit outside playing while the kid's inside. Mom saying he can't come out to play. You rise outside the window, throwing the ball back and forth like you can't do nothing, can you?
To be fair, the last time they placed Kamufaz, or last time Kamufaz placed Tachikawa in, he happened to lose both of his matches. He played 2 times in a row, so he's sitting out 2 times in a row. So I guess they're just trying to find a certain balance to get as much intel as possible, or at least get the favorable matchups. But as it stands right now, Mago's actually saying that this may be the best lineup. He wants to test out Mizuha in these matchups first, considering Nauman's going to be throwing out that Sakura. I think that's going to be just fine, having the Colleen matchup, but we'll see. I've seen some of these matchups between Chris CCH and Nephew. It has gone back and forth, but overall, I think Colleen has what it takes to kind of stop Sakura in her tracks in terms of being able to counter poke.
Yeah, it's just to avoid the corner position, right? Sakura has some of the best in the business because of that walk speed, both back and forward. Plus, when she gets V-Trigger going, she's a huge threat with the damage output. But Colleen can counter poke with the standing lights, has the fiercest to challenge her buttons as well. So if you're Nauman, your objective is to put him in the corner. If you're, Mizuha, your objective is to run the cross counters to get your V-Trigger going too as well. Both different in terms of their pressure, but both are going to be played way differently. I'm excited to see this matchup. Mizuha, I feel like people kind of forget him in terms of top Colleen players. Well, he's really been putting out work out here. Mizuha says that he wants to start the winning streak for Gyogun today. Today is the day he wants to start the winning streak.
Well, it's an important day as ever, to be quite honest with you. When we look into, man, Moke is pretty cheery today. Mago has like this dead look on him. He was a little cheery earlier, but now Moke with a huge smile on his face. There's been a lot of activity going on, I feel like, ever since he's joined round 5. I think this is the happiest I've seen him personally. And you can kind of see it reflected in his gameplay. He played so well in the last qualifier this past weekend. But Moke right now, the kind of topic that's been thrown out there for the trivia and some of these interviews has been like, what are you trying to do after this pandemic? And from what Moke says, he says he wants to travel within Japan once things get better, as he's hardly had the chance to go about the country. Mago says he wants to go camping.
Pretty interesting. I did not think he was a camping sort of dude, but the follow-up question to that was like if he likes the outdoors. I'm really curious to see what I doubt it. Mago says in all the 37 years he's always been indoors. Well, that makes sense.
Okay. Want to try something new?
That makes sense.
I mean, the pandemic, you know, jailing you up makes you want to just do something different, right, with your life. Like, when I finally get out, let me do something different. Let me go out there. You maybe become one with nature. Maybe it'll help him center himself. But right now, we're centering in this action. The next sets of the day, Mizuha and Nauman coming up to play. As an Evo champion, and Mizuha has a lot to fight against someone who's put Sakura on the map. We said this time and time again, this character kind of proven how strong she is, and that's before the buffs. That's before all the new things that have been added to this character in terms of the V-shift and stuff like that, outside of the mechanics of the game and stuff like that. Showing the character can put in a lot of work. Winning Evo Japan. Mizuha, though, again, just a player that just doesn't get that much shine, but he'll definitely get a lot of shine right now because Mizuha, both of them, and Nauman are in a boy band unit together. If y'all didn't see it, was it called Round V or something like that? I forgot what the name of the song is.
It's Round 5 is the name of the team. Yeah.
Round 5, okay.
Or the name of the group. Excuse me. I said team, but name of the J-pop group. It's actually pretty hype. I see like they have a bunch of like B-roll footage as well as like behind the scenes stuff of what they actually go through. Like it's like a little training camp, but for becoming a J-pop star. It's actually really quite interesting because they also get like vocal work done. They get a lot of vocal coaches to help them out, to like how to find their ranges and whatnot. It's really intense, actually. I would love to see a little documentary on that, the formation of Round 5. I kind of teased this a bit. Kawano also part of that group. Kawano had to play up against Moke in CPT not too long ago, and I would kind of joke about it, like whoever wins is going to be the front man of the group. So far, Kawano is number 1. We'll see who ends up being the number 2 man of the boy band group between these two players, actually, Nauman and Mizuha. Here we go.
Get into it. Nauman with that B skill too, looking for like a good crush in the B skill, just like that round start with the corner carry. And he built that V bar, and already in position to get another one. But that bad DP is going to be punished. No sympathy or empathy. I like that from Mizuha. The Parabellum put him in the corner and the throw.
Oh, you're actually eating a ton of damage. Another uppercut firing away from Nauman, and Mizuha is thinking to himself, like, man, you must really not want to be a part of this boy band.
Your mind somewhere else. On the groupies or something. We need to grab these sticks, dog. First one to Mizuha.
All right, going in already. We see Mizuha already on the offensive against Nauman. Forward throw now. Checking with the heavy punch. We talked about how imperative that heavy punch is, but man, the roundhouse, kind of similar to Karen's, right? Getting the crush counter. And look how much carry he gets out of the corner. Here's the activation from the EX Tatsu. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, let's do that.
What is Mizuha going to do? So important to get that tech.
I was able to start his turn. Back throw. There you go. Find that pressure. Like how he checked the shimmy. Don't want to let that go for free. Another fireballs plus frame situation. Out of V-bar. And this is the thing about V-Trigger 2 from calling this season. You're using it basically to put them in the corner and enact that corner pressure. You can use the fierce back heavy kick, and these DPs again are going to be punished in full, my friend. Hold the super.
Nice and cool, calm and collected. There was a lot of risky decisions being made from Nauman. There was a segment where he did let an uppercut rip, but I feel like there might have been a slight mishap on his end. It wasn't intentional, but the second one that followed through afterwards, 100% intentional. There just hasn't been a lot of calls that have been the best for Nauman, and it's put him in such dire straits, put him in such really, really awful situations afterwards. It's been, I want to say that was a pretty solid game for Mizuha in terms of like not having to worry about the strategy. I feel like this is the perfect time. It's like, okay, well now, first of all, let me fix my face. That was sick. He did an empty jump to avoid the anti-air. That was godlike.
I mean, you know that,
so
like
simple,
that's how she wants
so
to anti-air, right? Like that's how she wants to anti-air. Like her DPs are at a weird kind of angle, so she wants to answer with the crouch fears. You knew what you want to do round start with. It's so smart. You're definitely right. Mizuha.
With a low, that's going to be an activation, but still too far out for the follow. A lot of counter hits, but nothing to pretty much follow through with it. Not too bad. The damage could have been way... It could have been way worse, right?
Still make this return.
Okay.
This is the start. He'll push to the corner with a DP ender. And again, that corner pressure. I'm telling you, some of the strongest in the business. EXDP for the stun is definitely done. Sakura, when she has V-trigger popped and she's got you in the corner, that health bar just is whittled away. We see it so many times over and over again, no matter if it's Chris CCH or Nauman, the damage from this character is different.
Yeah, I think both characters can really benefit off of using EX meter to increase the value of the damage and get some of the corner carry going. I think they're very effective at it. You see right there, that's a big example. And getting the most out of these target combos is Mizuha right now. That's going to be more than enough. You're going to get the stun for sure. And you have critical art. It's a fact that you might have to spend it, but okay, it's going to be fine. With the amount of life he has, I don't blame Mizuha one bit.
Gives himself,
yes.
And he believes in that fierce fist to face. Probably believe there might be another DP in the place. I'm telling you, he's like, dog, I'm gonna get a DP again. I'm gonna punish it, but still, never mind. Got that win. And it will save that bar. And as we were talking about before, like bar for Colleen is real good. Awful light buff where you get so much corner carry, and we've seen the damage differential come through from this character. But off the heavy kick crush, the V skill push to the corner.
That is a huge jump in. What a call out there from Mizuha. It's gonna be so good. You talked about the bar usage. Look how far it takes her to the corner. Now you're already pretty much stuffed here. You're stuck for the rest of the round.
Trade favor.
Activation for Nauman. It's going to be plus. The
cross
counter stopping the dash. Oh no. Target combo into V-trigger now. It's going to be all bad for Nauman. Oh. The huge interruption off of the skates.
Nauman can still make the return. He's got bar. Really put the work in with a dash up throw. One more touch will do it. Nice and easy. Don't have to overextend to get this one. You have so many non-committal buttons that you can utilize. So be careful with the standing light kick or any other buttons that comes through from Sakura.
But all,
we'll get clipped by that.
All Mizuha really needs is a single hit. Maybe even an overhead. If he actually goes for the overhead, he's dead. He needs to not take that risk. He needs to just play this out or get the jump over. Nauman gets read like a book with the fireball game. Mizuha finding huge success against the young man. 2-0. Nauman is now going to be in the back of the group when it comes to these photos. He is going to be a backup dancer at this point if he keeps playing the way he's playing. Mizuha, nice and easy, 2-0.
Didn't we let Mans get on the mic? Didn't we let him have a turn on the mic? He's just a backup dancer? Dang, should have had his mind in the game. But unfortunately, it was not that way. We saw a lot of just bad input errors that led to Mizuha's success early, and I feel like it just snowballed from there. Mizuha kept it solid, calm, cool, collected, as you put it, and smooth like ice out here. Mizuha taking the first victory, 2-0.
Now the question is, since we've seen the lineup already for Camouflage Detonation already suffering their first loss, which is, you know, a pretty huge deal, there's still ways to run it in their favor. There's at most they can, well actually no, there's still too many games to say at most, but as it stands right now, John Takeuchi is going to be the second man up, but not before we take a look at these stats, right? John Takeuchi coming up with Rashid. Kind of curious to see how it's going to play out, but as you see here, Nauman with not too strong of a performance. Mizuha, absolute donuts, but still getting the W. You can see how focused it was on the ground game, whereas Mizuha actually took to the skies 3 times over, and that was to interrupt Nauman from throwing those fireballs, or punish Nauman, I should say. And of course, the EX uppercuts not working out in his favor whatsoever.
That dude's demise multiple times. We saw the punishes come through in the clutch. Now we're seeing what's coming up on the side of the home team. Who are they going to be sending out? Look at them. They having a good old time right now. After that win, they just laughing, enjoying themselves, taking away to the other team. I wonder who they're going to send up. You know, look at Mizuha definitely cheering. Home discussion is going to be coming up real soon. Getting some interviews from them. Team Detonation look a little more serious. A few laughs though from Tachikawa, but overall, it does seem like the home team is looking a little bit more structured, a little bit more happier. Moke screaming, "Moke, you are so cool." Why is Moke screaming that he is so
really
cool?
He's getting into the mentality. He's getting into the round 5 mentality. I like that. He's supporting his fellow group member, and I appreciate that. They're on the same team. He's screaming, Mizuha, you are so cool.
Mizuha, there we go.
As he should be, because that was a very impressive win. It's pretty daunting to go up against someone like Nauman, right? As impressive as Sakura is, who's been fighting up against the big boys and has been on these kind of stages. Mizuha's only been a part of Street Fighter League back in like 2020. He's only had like a handful of experiences, right? He's been part of the IWO. He did qualify. He did get 4th place over the Topanga Championship prior. But overall, I think Nauman has had more of the experience, right? Seeing Mizuha get a win like this is pretty important for his morale.
Mago also saying that Mizuha did a super good job, and Mago asked if Macho was ready for the next one, but Mago Cammy will be coming up next. Mago's Cammy, I love the way he plays Cammy, Karen. He's definitely implements the 2D God pressure right there. So he's so aggressive with the ground game situation with both those characters. It doesn't matter what character I feel like I watch, like you can kind of tell it's his style, right? It's like, oh, this is Mago right here. It doesn't matter if it's, even if it's Akira where he dabbles in every so often. It's going up against the Cody. I feel like this is one of those matches where people discuss from different continents. You know, in EU, people kind of theorize that Cody might be a good counter to Cammy. Maybe not beat, but be able to fight this character. We've seen it discussed all around the world. I still think Cammy has a slight edge. Her ground game is so strong, and you put this character in the corner and you don't have a 3-frame or a reversal to bust out. Cody's gonna have to hold that pressure, but the knife may help.
Interesting. One of the things I'm looking forward to is seeing what the V-Skill choice is going to be. John Takeuchi had to face off against this matchup before. I think it was in this matchup in particular. But thinking about it, Johnny Tak actually didn't opt to go for V-Skill 1 the last time he played against Cammy. I want to take a look at that, honestly. And I might have misspoke earlier when I said John Takeuchi was going to use Rashid. I'm just so used to it, to be quite honest with you. But the fact of the matter is he's been using Cody a lot. He actually took down one of the Codys through Akira in one of his first matches against Nagoya Oja Bodystar. He's failed to fight against, or he's failed to beat Fujimura, but that went down to the wire, although it was 0-2. Other than that, those are the 2 Cammys he's played off against. One, the more aggressive one through Akira, and one, the precision instrument Fujimura.
Now you have to deal with the 2D God. You put 3D in front of his face, he says, no thank you, my friend. All about the 2D business. Ida-san saying that he hasn't got to travel overseas at all lately, like most people haven't in that country, and he wants to go so badly. And he's been to around 30 countries so far. Ida-san is a world warrior. This man's been to 30 countries so far. That is wild. He's been to 30 states.
Yeah, this man has been traveling for a while when it comes to like any types of tournaments. I think, you know, he's got a very impressive travel record. He's got to be filling up that passport already. When it comes to the kind of the trivia as well, a little bit of the interviews coming in, as you can see, when asked about Tachikawa, Tachikawa saying he wants to pretty much graduate from university. He wants to get the school, the education stuff done as soon as possible. And Ida-san actually encouraging him. He's like, hey man, graduate faster. Can you just focus on that a little bit and just get it done? I like that. Very stern. He cares, but it's very stern. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. From a place of love. It's from a place of love. I get it. I bet Tachikawa don't feel it right now, but later on you look back and be like, he was right. I'm glad I got the time, got it done. But let's see who's going to take each other down. Mago, again, 2D God. I love watching this dude play, no matter what game, what character. And I feel like if you want to look at what character is strong, you look at what Mago goes to. If Mago picks a character, you know that character is good. You know that character is the top spot. And he has put in a lot of work. Second place at Evo Japan. And after his CPT win, he wants to be all days Mago. It doesn't matter about the months. It doesn't matter about September anymore. All days Mago.
Yeah, I mean, so far, it's been very impressive to see him switch between Cammy and Akira a good amount of times, but this is going to be the character he's going for, right? Cammy versus Cody. We'll see how this plays off. I'm actually kind of excited to see how Johnny Tak has been approaching this particular matchup, because he's so far 50-50. I want to see how he does against the Cammy that is actually in Capcom Cup.
Solidified their spot. All this time to practice and train. It's all these different characters. On this right off the bat against the bad ruffian. Goes in for the Oki. And the throw. Corner push, immediate challenge. John T. There is the V-Skill 1 finally. Finally.
Yeah, the V-Skill 1 is going to be so good at controlling the air approach against Cammy, but now it's going to be the concern of whether or not he can stop the ground. Damn! Target combo in the air! That's unfortunate. He caught Mago mid-air and tried to go in for the zonk. He wanted that activation, but still the V-Skill coming in clutch.
Shake him up, got the V-Trigger 1 for the extension, and that helps his footsie game a lot more. Get a lot more of these exchanges, and the range. So the knife still has more in his pocket too with the medium kick. Challenge though from Mago, finds it off the medium, the DP ender. One touch situation. Wake up back though immediately, early tech.
Word? EX spiral arrow out of the, pretty much out the woods. He just found his way out. He was just going for it no matter what. That was actually pretty disrespectful.
He tried to reload, he said no. Fist only. Because these hands are ready to eat for everybody. He skill immediately, anti-air. On the deck, that's been helping out John T, but the ground game still seems like it's difficult for this character.
It's the final fight combo. He does get to throw it to the corner. This is going to be huge for John Takeuchi, but still, despite being at a life deficit, Mago is still going to be as important as ever to get that opening with EX dive kick on the way out. John Takeuchi still in a rough position. There's no way he can stop him right now. There's just too much momentum on the side of Mago.
Mago, so dangerous, so violent. Again, the 2D god. And you see how godlike he is with those EX TK dive kicks, just to make sure it's harder for him to call the dive kicks that we've seen before. The jump were too obvious, so Mago said, let me do it a little bit quicker, and then throw a neutral or another jump in off the fierce to do something different with it. Change up the menu, hard for John T to read, and already at game point.
Oh, that was an important buffer. He caught John Takeuchi maybe going for another roundhouse, possibly, but again, a forward roundhouse, 2 times over, getting stuffed. Back throw, this is going to be so beneficial for John. There we go.
It also benefits this character.
Close again to the
also benefits the character with the damage. Oh. The damage differential right here. The damage that this character can put out is so strong. One of the best in the business. The V skill comes through. Locked up in the corner.
Oh. That's gonna be so rough now. You get put in the corner, and there's still trigger on the side of Cammy at near tie game. Trigger winding down. Yeah, okay, so John still has one more knife left. It's not going to lead to too much, but he at least gets the range. Tries to throw it away, but Mago's not going to be touching it at all. He's still got trigger. EX saw he got hit. Uppercut is not going to find it. Mago took a fat risk. A very huge risk that did not pay off. John Takeuchi 100% ready for the tendencies that Mago has. He's willing to make those wild decisions.
Don't put it in his mind. He's staying fine. He already has up a game, so got room to play and already put on the pressure in this corner again. In base of the V-skill, but doesn't get a punch off the heavy kick. Anti-air nice and easy, backed up for it. Make sure you have the distance. There's a heavy kick activation, and the turning point in this matchup is this V-trigger. If you can get going, if you can shake him up a little bit.
What we want to see, right? We haven't seen too much mileage coming in from John Takeuchi. The V-trigger has not proved to be a vital instrument towards his victory. There's just been too much that Mago's been doing to suppress any sort of action offensively that John Takeuchi wants to go for. The critical art is there. He has the meter, but still, what is he going to do with it?
Dive kick coming through Mago from the skies. No surprise, my man's going to be labbing out these dive kick situations at the perfect range and situations and find himself at set point. This is looking bad for John T.
Full critical art on deck again for John Takeuchi. There hasn't been a single time where he's actually, yeah, I was going to say the Zonk Knuckle had to come out sooner or later. There hasn't been too many instances where he's actually found a way to force the block against Mago, right? This is only 2 out of how many attempts?
The walk back medium, B shifts away. That D-bar off the table. I like that side switch situation right here. Mago still has one more usage of the V-trigger. One touch situation. You're looking for that super hit or that finish. Open up. Right to the window. There you go. Mago. 2D God. 3D8 for me, baby. Don't catch me out here sidestepping.
That is 2 games straight pretty convincingly. I feel like, man, there's not really much that John Takeuchi has proven that has been effective against Mago, right? The V-trigger hasn't been the right choice, in my opinion, right? I think there hasn't been enough to threaten Mago with the V-trigger 1. V-skill 1, however, doing amazing work. Not gonna lie about that. There's just certain instances where I think maybe he should get the mix-up game going with V-trigger 2. Is an even bigger threat on Wake Up, especially if he gets the command grab. But it's not gonna be, it's not gonna work out actually. It's gonna be, 2 straight for Mago. He's gonna be hanging out with the rest of his team now. John Takeuchi has a lot to think about in that matchup in particular.
Yeah, I feel like the dive kicks EX edition came through a little bit different as soon as he saw John T going for the V skill. And then also the ground game was too strong too as well. Those risks, sometimes didn't always have the right reward, but still Mago coming through 2-0, not looking good for the side of Team Detonation.
Yeah, the best case scenario now is to possibly tie with the victory in the anchor match. Again, you're looking at Itazan being the anchor. Actually, it's Itagale, technically, because of Abigail being the character choice, going up against Machabo, who hasn't had the best record thus far in the league. If you're looking directly at his stats, he hasn't won a single game as Cammy, which is a little cause for concern, right? The last time they played against the FAV team, he went down 0-2. But speaking of, let's take a look at these stats first. A little bit of a couple of donuts, actually, from the side of John Takeuchi. Anti-airs, and not really having any sort of reversal DPs, so it doesn't even matter. Gonna be finding that L. Zeros all across the board. Pretty rough. But yeah, talking about the matchups, right? For Machabo, 0-2 against Tokido. He went 0-2 against Gachikun, against the Good 8 squad. He went 1-2 against his former teammate Daigo. So as it stands right now, Machabo is part of that group where he hasn't found a single W, which is very surprising because he was really pivotal in the Umehara Gold team a few seasons of Street Fighter League, and has been a vital instrument also to getting them to the finals. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out.
I mean, on paper, on spread, this is not a bad matchup anymore, as bad as it used to be for Abigail. The damage is still there. You get hit, you get melted, but the dive kicks come through a little bit easier. The jump-ins also easier because Abigail's anti-air's not as strong this season, and the nerfs of the damage in some areas also helps out a little bit too. But if Yogan takes this next match, they'll be at 3rd place in the rankings, and we get straight into it. Machabo Nakali coming up. I thought he was done with that character. Oh, no. Let's go.
Hell no. I want to see this Nakali come out more. This is his character. This is the character that propelled him to victory. I always forget, too, that he teamed up with Mago last season. Even Mago is just like, this is what I'm talking about. They actually were part of the championship team in 2019 with Mago Scarlet in that in that team, Street Fighter League. That was actually one of the most broken teams I've seen. They were so good. But yeah, Machabo has pretty much no words for the pre-match. He just wants to prove himself with his action. I think with Nakali, he's going to do just that. I do like this matchup for Nakali, actually being able to play the mid to long range game a little bit better with V-Skill 1. So even though he has stubby normals, we still get to see this opportunity for Machabo to play as versatile as he wants to be, either mid to long range, a disgusting close range game. I'm very happy to see this come back.
I'm so excited. I love watching people go back to the characters they kind of put on the map. Go back to maybe like the basics, things aren't working out for the new character that you've been coming through with. You go back to what you came with, the main bay right here. Nakali ad play, it's Devour Hour, baby. I don't think I've seen Nakali on the screen in so long, in so many matches that I've commentated over dang near continents. You know what I'm saying? I have not seen this character come back. He's not as strong as other characters. I feel like Nakali is one of those characters that, everyone else is excelling. He doesn't get that much new, so people kind of get bored of him. But when it comes down to getting that guap dog, you want to go back to what's basic, what's going to be standard, what's going to work. Best of 3, or best of 5, first of 3 situation. Nakali pick, I'm vibing with it.
We'll see if it does work, right? He's found a lot of success with his character over his competitive career in Street Fighter V. We'll see if this is going to be what helps him out for the rest of the season, because again, we talked about how important it is to be within the 5 spots for the playoffs If Gyogun takes this next match, they'll be at 3rd place in the rankings.
I was gonna point out how you can jump in with the Fierce, because this character's jumpers are dangerous like Ken's against Abigail, but the parry coming through with a clutch and the heavy kick crush for Fierce. Preemptive finds it. The doubling down. The reset.
That was
one-touch situation.
Super sick. That's mad difficult. Yo, Itazan with the back Fierce with the anti-air early. That was so disgusting. Oh, the spit. I see V-Trigger 2, so that's not going to be winding down anytime soon. He's going to stay in permanent Saiyan mode. It's going to be just fine. And look at him, ground pounding. He's having a tantrum. He's like, why is my trigger not going down?
Oh, the drop Fierce. EX Abigail punch, one touch. And he is not worried about that tantrum at all, dog. You ain't getting no toys out of the store. You ain't getting nothing. Itazan would take this great life. 35 seconds winding down, and the check.
He's leaving you there. He's going to make you look like a fool. He's like, oh, you're going to throw a tantrum in the middle of the store? Well, guess what? I'm going back to the car. You're not invited.
You're not getting anything. Stay there. Someone else can take you home. That's bad parenting.
It's awful. So that's why we're not parents. Reese always going to go for the damage roll.
Scratch me kick to catch the walk back. And Metro Crash. Spin that cash.
Oh, I was waiting
EX
for the
edition.
command grab. Oh, he tried to catch a normal with a delayed normal of his own. I think I was crouching heavy punch, but still. He got caught trying to jump out of the way. One touch left for Machimo to survive.
The EX split kick comes through. That's a big boy.
Matter, right? It didn't even matter. You see the V-skill coming out from the side of Machimo. Abigail and Itazan pretty much reacted to it using the armor going through, but he's just so fast. This guy is a man on wheels. It didn't even matter what the outcome was going to be. He reacted to the V-skill and he was going to punish accordingly. But I gotta say, it seems like Itazan is unfazed by this pick of Necalli. I think, no matter who it was going to be, I think Itazan was going to be confident and comfortable with it.
And one thing that that Machimo didn't expect, but how confident Itazan is with his anti-airs, the parries, the 4 Fierces, and the ground game looking damn near fine. Crouch Fierce canceling the flip, keeping him in the corner with the medium. I like that challenge up from Machimo. Cross off the heavy kick. He'll dash up back to us, going for the damage. The push to the corner.
Now we're talking about this positioning, right? Itazan, despite being cornered, has found plenty of ways to get past this V-skill, but this has been one of the things we preface it with. Oh, he tries to go for the V-skill low. We're talking about how much of a nuisance this V-skill was going to be, right?
Lock him down with any walk forward. There's the DP, the anti-airs Machimo is really known for. Doesn't matter what game, he loves his anti-airs, gets it through, but the EX comes through in the clutch. The armor deleting those normals.
Oh, he does it again. Crouching heavy punch to check what Machimo's going to do on wake up, because people do get antsy, right? That was a command throw scenario. Like, if there was going to be a couple of mixes where he was going to die off of throws, he had to pretty much guess. Oh my god, the whiff punishy!
The challenge right here is on putting those lights every so often in the medium, looking for the crouch fear situation. Machimo getting clipped. Bro, I feel like this is almost damn near 10 for 10 on the Crouch Fierce is coming through. Machimo locked up in the corner. It's not where you want to be if you're his character.
Oh, that is important. Yeah, getting the jump out, but still no cross-ups to be had. He's going to be just fine. Itazan walking his way towards danger, completely unfazed because of 2 big factors, right? He has the life lead and he has full critical art.
Trying to walk him down. Careful the crouching medium kick that could come through too as well. Machimo's got to implement that in his game plan to really make Itazan afraid to walk back parry. Didn't get the punish on that, but he'll find the EX Itazan slathered and lathered in that armor situation.
Man, I love the double bass in this song. It's so sick. Okay, does get the buffer off the stand medium into the disc guidance. It's the first time we actually seen him utilize the V-trigger too, but is there going to be enough for Itazan to actually fear? Machimo hasn't done much to really intimidate Itazan.
Nice throw to delete the armor. Universal, not going to catch him out of this corner. Macho will still make the return.
Oh,
Oh,
this is
big
huge.
jump in right here. He needs this with the EX guidance. One touch was a wake up. The low Macho Bro saves it.
That was going to be a complete guess for game. It was either throw, the low, or instant overhead, right? Because he does get access to jump jab against Abigail. Oh, big parry gets the conversion. And this is going to be a huge amount of damage.
And you get Oki off the situation too. It's where the reversal. Trade's still in favor. Itazan has it locked up in the corner. Oh, and the bumper gets the fierce, do what he wanted.
Does get the back over to the corner. Does get the option select as well to cover the grounds in case he wants to jump. Big neutral jump, critical art. No, okay, it's gonna be stunned first, and that should be more than enough. Macho Bro tying it up in what looked like a very grim situation. It looked like it was all Itazan, but that was not the case. He's now just regular Itabashi. He's slowly going back to Itagale, but at the same time, it's like, you know, Macho Bro's performance in that second game, pretty good. He's starting to come back to life.
Macho just had to remember what time it was, dog. It's Devour Hour. It's the hour of the Devour Hour, dog. He's hungry. He's hungry. He wants a victory. Hasn't had one. Now's his time to shine. And we might be getting the switch, though. We're going back to the Battle Lounge for a second. I wonder what we're going to be seeing. Is it a switch to Geef? Is it a switch back to basics for Itazan himself in return? Look at Macho. He's smiling. He's having a fun time.
I think, yeah, there has to be something coming in from his teammates, right? There has to be something that's catching his ears. For the most part, you know, Macho Bro has a pretty serious demeanor when it comes to getting the games going. A little bit of nerves settling in. You can visibly see it from the side of Macho Bro. But for a second, I do want to kind of talk about the possible tactics here. Itabashi could go for Zangief, which he will. If he manages to win, it's going to be interesting because I think, you know, Macho Bro might have to counterpick into Cammy, maybe.
Oh.
But now if Macho Bro actually wins this one, he's in the more favorable position to get the last counterpick against Itazan, or Itabashi, excuse me. So we'll see how it plays out. I think, yeah, Macho Bro is more than comfortable in this particular matchup because these guys have played a handful of times in various seasons of Street Fighter League.
Oh, for sure. Both characters also being around for a long time helps out with that. Got the corner push and his corner pressure. Eating him up with that medium into the throw. EX plus frames. Hold this for a second. Stays away from the activation. Try to find the jump in. It's one touch situation.
Look at how much more comfortable Macho Bro has been playing, right? He's been so much more free form when it comes to actually getting his offense going. He's in Itazan in the mix. He's so much more comfortable in playing the neutral. His footsie game has improved dramatically.
Check on the dash though. I feel like, you know, even with as much as people don't like Geef, he's gonna make quite a few reads to get the damage going and get that continuous amount of pressure. And then you have EXDP to threaten with the 3-frame and the V-Shift 2 as well. And Macho, having been seasoned with this character for a long time, he feels, as you said, comfortable. Well, this is like an old car he's been running for a while.
He just knows how it feels. He understands what the road is like with his instrument, right? His instrument of choice. Oh boy, you're actually gonna get got. Throw that instrument on the ground. Get it out of here. Oh, he's leaving. Oh, he's dead.
The heavy
Never
kick.
mind. It didn't matter.
Always with the pixel. All day it's been always with the pixel. Just the pixel. Macho though, still feel like he's still confident in the neutral, right? Like things like that won't take him out. This will take him to the corner though. Berserker Barrage. That one's for you, Morph. Walks up, no cancel this time. I like Itazan fighting back. You see Macho going for the cancel in the medium into like a throw pressure, but Itazan answering back in his own regard with an early cancel off the V skill to delete that option. They're playing back and forth. I like that. I'm enjoying these options between these characters.
Oh man, that was a ton of Grey Life cashed out on that one. The V skills kind of build up some of that damage and still sneaks the dash in. Sneaking into his face again, getting a bunch of grabs. Look at my command grab, Geef.
Do it to him again. Oh, the shimmy, the finesse and bliss. Man, Macho Bro about to put Itazan to rest.
This is tough.
because a lot of pressure on the line. I feel like, having to contest against a powered-up Necalli in V-Trigger, you have to keep in mind how powerful he is with his normals. He doesn't have to maintain any charges. His walk speed is so much better now. And you're playing against a person who hasn't found a single win yet. There might be a little bit of desperation in certain movements, or it's going to be so hard to predict. It's like, yo, this guy is a cornered animal right now.
Mm-hmm. Nothing to lose, dog. Everything to gain. He's still coming through. I like how he backs off every so often. And then even before he goes in, he'll pepper in the crouch immunity kicks to check some of these walk forwards. Iazon still getting some damage off the fierces and trying to run the medium game, but every so often the heavy kick could come through with the crush, like the priority system take the wheel.
This is very important, right? Already into the V trigger is Machabo, but still Iazon slowly working him into this corner. And that's so tough. And I like that. That was so smart for Machabo to back away because of the very fact that the dive kick hit so high up against the Lariat. That was so smart.
Nobody want those free hugs from Give. Activation time. Gotta be careful with these projectiles coming through the B skill. One good suck, and that'll be the end. That'll be the win. The jump in, back throw.
If he can get it, though,
connects.
that's the thing. He's so good. He's so good at making the opponent guess wrong. Machabo getting another EX command grab. Mileage out of all of that, actually. He's getting so much mileage off of the command grab.
For all the Necalli players out there, all 5 of them on the Hopium watching this. Machabo running the dream out here with this character, still making it work. Good interruption using the EX SPD. We've seen that so many times. Medium kick, and then Machabo goes trying to go for like a dash up throw or takes his turn, but he does not canceling early, goes to the EX SPD, puts him in the corner, locking him down.
Oh boy. Huge life deficit. Iazon might have found a different tactic. That's actually huge. Again, the dive kick, but still, he's trying to trick Iazon into thinking there's multiple dive kicks coming, but at that point, Iazon assessed the risk. He's like, I'm willing to lariat here. Even if you trade with me, I'm going to be taking this W. Even if you hit me with a dive kick, you're too high up and too close.
Now Machabo switching up his pressure. Was ducking. Jump fierce, interrupts the EX. This is bad. One touch for that stun. And you won't be caught in the corner against this character. You have to worry about
you're actually getting stunned off of
like
this. EX. Oh no, jump jet might do it. And the lowest that it doesn't matter how many dogs. Machabo gets his first W and puts Team Gyogun in 3rd place.
Machabo with the Necalli pick. Bro, put this man in the ground like an earthworm. That set is adjourned in the favor of man like Machabo coming through with the Necalli pick. And you see the team cheering. Machabo can't even believe it himself. Sometimes you go back to basics and it works out. That's a 4-win point streak right there on the side of Gyogun.
That is actually pretty wild. Pretty wild to think about, right? A 4-0 victory. And look at how clean it was overall. 2-0 for the side of Mizuha against Nauman. 2-0 for Mago against John Takeuchi. And Machabo in what looked like the complete opposite. It looked like he was in dire straits against that Abigail. Made that comeback happen in game 2 and made a full-on sweep. 3-1. Not with Cammy, but with Necalli.
Bro, with Necalli, I'm so happy to see them go back to basics right there and made it through in the clutch. Big win for Gyogun. Whole team putting a lot of work. And Nemo is smiling ear to ear somewhere. Like, even though he's on the team, he's smiling. Anytime a geek loses, especially Iazon, he is smiling ear to ear.
Yeah, being the captain of that team, you got to be very relieved for a couple of things, really. Machabo finding his confidence. You see how much, man, you could see it in his facial expressions. You could see how much it means to Machabo, like getting this W. It's actually pretty wild. So yeah, as the team captain with Mago, you got to be thinking to yourself, it's like, all right, well, we've secured a solid position so far to get ourselves into the playoffs with 3rd place. And as being, the leader, I get to finally congratulate one of my teammates who's been struggling. We get to see his practice come to fruition and get this W. So that's ever so important. I think this is the perfect time to get that anime power up. You know what I'm saying? That's the turnaround now.
Right? If this is the turning point that you need, the power up, like you reveal your new form to everybody.
What are these guys doing? What is happening? They're pumping up Machimo?
Is that what they're doing? Is that what these motions are? I mean, he's been pressured. He's been worried because he hasn't had any wins. And Mago shot in the back spamming. Machimo is back. Machimo's back. I want to see all the chats. I don't get to see them until later, but I want to see Machimo is back. That's all I want to see. On all the event hubs, Kotakus, all that stuff, Machimo is back. Machimo is back. That's what I want to see, because that's what Mago is saying for his friend after that win. You know that's super important to somebody who's been lacking in terms of, you know, Street Fighter League and stuff like that, finding these wins. You're finally strong competitors out here. It's difficult, easier said than done. You know, go zero, you know, gets up top competitors, but to find your mark, to find your momentum, this is a big turning point for Gyogun, for sure.
Yeah. Now they are pretty much at third place and pretty close to the FAV team, who's currently in second. And as we go into the statistics, again, Gyogun coming up with a huge Cinderella story at the very bottom of the start of the league, damn near third. I feel like, taking a look at the stats overall, a very impressive record coming in from Machimo as well. But we're looking at some of the stats from like the previous instances too. But I think this is correct. I'm pretty sure this is the stats between Machimo and Itazan. Again, Itazan not having any sort of invincible reversals. Machimo actually coming up with an EX uppercut just one time. Not too bad. It's a risk he was willing to take, but overall still solid, taking it 3-1. Oh, that was actually the stats for Machimo versus J-Tech? I thought that was actual error, but okay, these are the real stats now. I see. Okay, so these are the... Damn! 5 out of 5?
Whoa.
Comes to anti-air? Huh.
Man,
so I'm
miss.
confused. I'm actually kind of confused. The only invincible reversal coming in from Itazan would have been critical art from Zangief. I think there was that one... Yeah, okay, actually, there was a moment where he got the reversal critical art. Okay, that counts. I guess that counts.
Okay. All right. That makes a little bit of sense right there, but in Machimo, those buff stats right there, mans don't miss, but I like that he went back to this character. I like that, again, overall, that we're seeing a lot of these players sometimes having to go back to what they've known and with something different with these game plans. Again, it's difficult out here. Easy to say, you know, oh yeah, going 0 and whatever. But when you have a lot of strong competitors all concentrated in one area, one singular tournament, one singular exhibition style kind of thing with the team tournaments and stuff like that, where there's a lot more, you know, like team battle things at stake, where you have people going up with different strategies and stuff like that. It's easy actually to lose a bunch of games. It's actually pretty damn easy. So to be able to find these moments, to be able to find these wins, so important once again. So shout out to Machimo coming back to the Nakali. I, again, haven't seen that character in a long time. I know people at home haven't seen that character. I know they're definitely really gassed when they wake up. If people haven't watched, hopefully watch the VODs on that one, because that was a sick match.
It's been about, what, 3 to 4 weeks now since we've seen Machimo actually pick that character. Granted, how many times he's won, but even more so impressive than that, he was able to get the W in the most pivotal spots. He got it in the anchor position, one thing, and he got it in what could have been a make it or break it point in terms of playoff contention. If he had not been successful, he would have been, or that whole team would have been in way more dire straits in trying to get those positions. But now I think they're securing themselves a pretty good one, a good position in the playoffs with the winner's side. But anyways, this is what transpired throughout the week, or this day of matches, I should say. Good 8 squad taking it down over the V6 plus FAV Roto Z team. Man, that was a mouthful.
That's a lot.
Yeah, a little bit too much for me, honestly. But taking it down over the team, right? And then Gyogun, how they performed today, they're just behind the number 2 team with 14 points, ever so important. But we still have way more games to play, right? We still have another look coming in for the next one on Thursday. It's going to be Comprised Detonation versus the Good 8 squad. That is going to be such a hefty plate. Mildon Beast versus Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto afterwards this Thursday, same time as always.
Yeah, y'all make sure to check that on all the applicable places. There's going to be a lot of great action. Soul's got to definitely prove themselves. Let's see if Team Detonation can come through correct next time. Good 8 squad's one of the toughest teams, if not the toughest team to beat, so it's going to be hard for them, but you can't prophesize no demise out here. We've seen a lot of great action go different ways, We're seeing more on Thursday.
You guys do not want to miss it. It's going to be the same time as always. We'll put out some more social media tweets and posts and etc. You guys do not want to miss it. It's been absolutely exciting. When we return with Street Fighter League Pro-JP, it'll be a brand new day with a brand new episode, but with the same old teams you know and love. Until then, we hope to continue the conversation and see you guys with more of the Street Fighter V action. It's been completely unpredictable, but best believe it's been highly entertaining through and through. For all the Street Fighter fans, we do appreciate your time and checking it out. But until next time, we will see you for more Street Fighter League Pro-JP. Till then, take care and keep playing more Street Fighter.
Peace.